And now we learn from an article that was recently posted by Paul Joseph Watson that the assault on Syria matches the Brookings Institute regime change strategy. The article featured now at INFOWARS.com following today's authorization by Turkey to conduct military attacks inside Syria, a move that is basically a declaration of war. We now learn that the assault on Syria is beginning to match precisely a strategy outlined by the neoconservative Brookings Institution to achieve regime change. Yeah, the Brookings Institute is widely acknowledged as the most influential think tank in the United States. And it has outlined a plan to use humanitarian concerns, basically a Trojan horse disguised as an ambulance, as a manufactured justification to conduct military operations in Syria. And even after Turkey retaliated yesterday, the strikes have continued this morning and today, and well, probably as we speak. And we have now learned that the Turkish parliament convened to authorize military cross-border operations into Syria. And this means ground forces. This means war. And, you know, this could escalate. Look, the United States and NATO, they're on Turkey's side, even though they armed, you know, the Syrian rebels who launched the attack against the Turkish civilians. You know, this has false flag written all over it. But as we all know, Russia is on Syria's side. And that has a potential conflict with Russia. Well, that conflict is all too real. Let's hope it doesn't happen. And while Turkey is authorizing and conducting military strikes inside Syria and killing Syrian troops, not to mention having headquartered, trained, fund, and armed militants to carry out terrorist attacks inside Syria, their political leaders are claiming that they are not at war. It kind of reminds me of that scene from, you know, the movie Mars Attacks, where the aliens are telling everyone, you know, don't run, we're your friends. And at the same time, they're bombing everyone and destroying the city. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that. So again, that story is available right now on Infowars.com. Another interesting related article by Tony Cartalucci, Turkey attempts to trigger war versus Syria. Also, well worth the read, so turn off your televisions and get informed. Infowars.com, the website. And it looks like this may be the final domino to fall in a coordinated effort to take down both Syria and Iran. I mean, you know, as a wider and far more deadly war is now coming into view as Iran gears up for an attack by either the U.S. or Israel or both at the same time. And the U.S. and its partners escalate proxy wars inside Iran and Syria and fan the flames of a conflict in northern Africa. The global elite and their corporate and bankster partners are determined to force on Iran the same fate suffered by Iraq. And, yeah, well, invading Iraq was kind of like, I don't know, kind of like going to war with Ethiopia. I mean, basically, Iraq had no army to speak of. They had no navy. Their military was completely depleted, especially following Gulf War I and 10-plus years of sanctions. They were basically defenseless. But Iran's not going to be a cakewalk. Iran, that is a different story. I mean, these guys, you mess with them, these guys are ready to rumble. They are heavily armed and equipped and determined to defend themselves once provoked. And, you know, we know Russia and China could very well end up on their side. After all, Russia, they are completely encircled by the United States right now, and they're not too happy about it. So we are definitely seeing wars and rumors of war.
Insider billionaire investors like George Soros and John Paulson have recently made massive moves into gold, purchasing what Bloomberg News described as gold hoards. Soros alone doubled his holdings in a single day. Russia's Vladimir Putin has doubled down on gold, increasing the country's holdings by over 100%. With $1.8 trillion under management, the bond king Bill Gross, the world's preeminent bond fund manager at PIMCO, has warned investors of the dangers of QE3 and inflation. And what's he betting on? You guessed it, gold. Friends, this is Alex Jones for MidasResources.com. For more than 15 years, I have exclusively used Midas Resources for all my precious metal needs. Whether it's bullion or collectibles you're looking for, Midas Resources is simply the best. I own my gold as a hedge against inflation. This Federal Reserve fiat currency could go the way of the Deutschmark and the Weimar Republic anytime. In these historically dangerous times, it makes sense to physically hold gold and silver. Midas already has some of the best deals in the industry. But if you give them a call and mention the radio special, they will give you a list of the day's super specials. Midas brokers are standing by to answer all your questions at 800-686-2237. They also have a lot of informative free literature explaining the opportunities and risk of holding precious metals. They are ready to answer your questions at 800-686-2237. Again, that's 800-686-2237.